All right, I'm going to have a go at the Guardian's weekly Everyman crossword, set by Everyman, who's also the Guardian's crossword editor. Generally easier than the daily crossword, but last week's was pretty tough. Anyway, let's see what Everyman has for us. When sent to Coventry, one that's barely seen. I know if you send someone to Coventry, you don't speak to them. Um, but I'm thinking one that's barely seen means one that is seen in the nude. And I think Lady Godiva may have ridden her horse naked through Coventry. Certainly the right numbers of letters, so let's try Lady Godiva. Oh yeah, and some unusual letters that should verify this. Reason Titanic captain might think the unthinkable. Oh, that's very clever. Because, of course, Titanic, they said it was the unsinkable and it sank. So I think if the captain, if the captain might, yes, do that, then you or they have a lisp. That's clever. Thawed, 99 disappearing, a performance. Well, 99 in Roman numerals is IC, so I'm thinking it's going to be something to do with ice, because that has IC. Oh, and in fact, if you thawed, you de-iced, but then if we remove the IC, we have a deed, which is a performance. All right, such a reduction applied to S in parentheses squires. So the word squires without the S. Now, squires are, what were they, landed gentry or something like that? And a quire is a measure of paper. But then also seeing the S in parentheses makes me think of some mathematical function. Or is it just removing the first letter? Yeah, I'm baffled by that one. All right, how about aquatic being, part of Little Mermaid toy that's caught? I was just wondering if it might be a hidden clue, part of Little Mermaid toy, but that D is in the wrong part unless we read backwards, and then we'd have diam rem. No, that ain't it. Little Mermaid toy. That's caught. Of course, caught can be C in cricket scorecards. No, seen as very absurd runs off. I think it's going to be a word for seen. Visible, I suppose. Ah, yes. So V is very, and if something is absurd, it's risible, which I think comes from the French to laugh, rire, laughable. But we take away the R for runs, again coming from cricket. All right, let's go back to the crosses. Train, line, almost, flipped over, vehicle. I think it might be a vehicle. And we're going to have train. Train line could be the railway. Almost might mean we're missing a letter and then it's flipped over. Oh, a train. Yeah, train line would be a track. Almost without the K. Ah, yes, and if you flip that over, you get a cart. There we go. I was very slow to see that. I miss place in resort. It's a field. I'm thinking it might be a scientific field. And the wordplay is I miss place in resort. I wonder if a resort could be a spa. Wait a minute. Resort might be telling us to resort its. And is it IST? It's not the end. I was thinking more like maybe an ism. I think I'm going to have to come back to that one, but I miss place. No. Growing border, husband removed, remains a border. Yeah, so a border around a garden, for example, that grows could be a hedge. Husband can be abbreviated to H. If we remove that, we get an edge, which is still a border. All right, king overcome by slithering odious boa, in stories that aren't to be read. When I started reading that, I thought it was going to be Everyman's trademark clue, where we would take the first letters of words, just because they seemed so weird. But I think slithering might mean to anagram odious boa, and that's going to go around a king, which can be K or R or CR for Charles. And then I think it's going to be stories that aren't meant to be read. What are stories that aren't meant to be read? I have no idea. All right, entered private property. All right, looking at the T and the E, you think, okay, that has to be something to do with trespassed. And lock, a lock of hair would be a tress with two S's, but abruptly means we drop one. And if somebody died, then they have passed on, passed over. All right. Liquid lunch with plenty of character. So I just thought of the four-letter word might be soup, and with lots of characters could be alphabet soup. Of course, you don't have to have it for your lunch, but liquid lunch is a funny definition of it. All right, our reduction now is G something L. No. Side in blue, seeing confused voter taken in by English nationalist. I wonder if it could be a football team that wears blue. And growing up, I was a fan of Chelsea. I do think they had one of the best football team songs, In Blue Is the Color, Football is the Game. But then how would... oh, no, there's another team, of course, that wears... well, there are a few teams, but another one, similar blue, Everton, which is an anagram of voter, and that is taken in by EN for English nationalist. Ooh, and here we have English nationalist against adopting promise to be green. Oh, I think if you're green, you're envious. So here's our EN, English nationalist again. Oh, against is versus. Versus actually is VS. And that adopts or surrounds a promise, which could be an IOU. And that's how we get envious. All right. How about R&B musicians' somewhat unchaste view on derrieres? Well, of course, they want us to think of something like, I like big butts and I cannot lie. But just looking at the letters, I think it must be Stevie Wonder. Would it be? We've too many R's, so Unchaste view. Ooh, I wonder if we do have... Oh! Yeah, it's actually somewhat is telling us to take some of what follows. So it's a hidden clue, and hidden within unchaste view on derrieres is indeed Stevie Wonder. I'm sure he would get a laugh out of that one. All right, assuming the worst, oddly time-saving. Again, it's one where from the definition, if it's assuming the worst, you think it must be pessimistic. But no, I think oddly time-saving might be an anagram of time saving. What other word is it if it isn't pessimistic? No. Anyway, oh, I don't know if we've seen the ellipses go across 3 clues, but we get ignoring some, scan 10 nationalist kit, receiving signals. Wow. I think signals must be the definition. Ignoring some, maybe it's another hidden clue, but without any letters, I'm not seeing it. All right, deer eating mushroom recoiled, showing blotch. So I think maybe the deer is a roe. I wanted it to be something like rosacea, but it's not that. And so part of it is going to be backwards, recoiled. It could be the whole thing. I think there might be a deer, a type of deer beginning with E, but it's not coming to me. But the mushroom would have to be very short. I can't think of a short mushroom. Oh, of course, mushroom can be a verb meaning to grow quickly. No, how about activated in potion life that's everlasting? Oh, is the definition going to be life that's everlasting? Or activated, maybe? Yeah, don't get it. Flower girl that may be hazel. Yeah, double definition, maybe a triple definition. Not the lead horn player getting renewed energy. So it's a double definition. In the orchestra, you might be one of the first winds, but if you're not, you might be second wind, and getting your second wind, of course. A day after Everyman's age-old booze. Well, since day can be abbreviated to D, I think we're going to put AD after, every man can be I or me, but if it's me, we get mead, which is an age-old, ancient form of booze. University becoming independent raises limits. No, other than university being U, and I do wonder if it might be a word that begins with up, or, yes, up for raises, limits, up something, or becoming independent. No. All right, here's our trademark everyman clue. Primarily, what encompasses Senegal, Togo, alongside 14 republics, Ivory Coast also. Well, that's very cleverly worked out to get West Africa. All right. I skipped this one, assuming. Oh no, I didn't. We looked at that one. Maybe it is pessimism. Oh no, it's not. So E and M, they are in time saving. Let's try the anagram helper. Yeah, it must be an ism, assuming the worst. Oh, negativism, I think. Yeah, negativism. There we go. Oh, we have nice. Yes, it is a triple definition. So the flower, the iris, the girl's name, Iris, and then the part of the eye that may be hazel colored, of course. I should have thought of that. All right. Sloppily traced over 20s design. Yeah, so I'm thinking sloppily traced is anagram traced and get art DEC, and an over again from cricket can be O, and 1920s design Art Deco. Cars that are often seen in westerns. Well, this will be tough from anyone not living in Britain, but there is such a thing as a saloon car. I think it's the equivalent of a sedan in the United States, if I'm remembering correctly. A family saloon, and of course we saw saloons in westerns. Record changing dash for cash. Oh, it could be record as well. Changing dash for cash. I'm wondering if the record could be LP, EP, and changing, maybe reversing it, but no. How about praiseful verse addressing Archbishop Tutu? Oh, Desmond was his first name. Yes, so if you're addressing him, you might say, "Oh, Des," if you're on familiar terms, and odes are praiseful verses. All right. So now this one raises limits. I'm thinking it's going to be a con word, constructs, of course, constrains, maybe, would be limits. Let me try constrains and just see if I can work out university. No, I don't see any university in there. Becoming independent, no. And raises, maybe something is reversed. Unless, could raises be trains? Like if she raises dogs, she trains dogs. Well, how about record changing dash for cash? Yeah, I'm not seeing that one. All right, we have a lot of letters now in our either activated in potion, life, that's everlasting. There's some phrase for everlasting life. Oh, maybe infinite. Oh, an infinite loop, perhaps. I was just thinking the other day of when I was a developer and somebody played a prank on me to put in my little program that ran every day I switched on my old computer, and these were very old. and it just was an infinite loop saying, I bet you think this is annoying. And it ended up bringing down the system. Just a simple little loop sending a message. Anyway, hopefully that would never happen again. Yeah, so how does this in potion? I think activated is an anagram indicator of in potion life. Yeah, I suppose so. Now, my dear, eating mushroom recoiled, showing blotch. I do want it to be blotch, but not seeing it. And this one signals. Oh, I'm thinking antenna would receive signals. Ah, yeah, so it is a hidden clue, ignoring some. So within scan 10 nationalists, you have antenna, and the definition includes the word kit. So equipment receiving signals. All right. I misplace in resort now. It's a field. I wonder if it could be a specialism, somebody's field that they specialize in. And so I, in resort, yeah, but it's a field. Oh, is it just an anagram? Yeah, of I misplace. I think that's it. And in a resort, it becomes a field. Oh, okay. Well, now our aquatic being is very obvious. Still don't get the wordplay. Be part of Little Mermaid toy that's caught. Oh, caught can be a homophone indicator. Oh, yeah. So I think a toy would be a doll. And of course, there might be a doll of, oh, what's her name from The Little Mermaid? And she would have a fin, so that would be a part of her. It would be a doll fin with an F and two L's, of course. All right, that's clever. Now, this is my such a reduction applied to Esquires. I think this must be ing. Oh, yeah. I saw the word guillotining, and so I think the S in brackets is just telling us that this works for both. So squires, and I suppose in the French Revolution, could be reduced, as in having their heads removed by a guillotine, and quires of paper would be reduced by using a guillotine. Yes, that was always my favorite part of the office equipment. Anyway, just a couple. Oh no, yeah, three and then one I'm not sure of. So king overcome by slithering odious boa in stories that aren't to be read. All right, well, let's see. Odious is 6 letters and boa is 3, so we have 9. So we're going to add either R or K. I'm going to try R. Excuse me, and then let's shuffle that. Stories, the S is probably not abridgments. Aren't to be read. I have no idea. Could it be another kind of story, like a story in a building? Um, yeah, I'm not seeing this one at all. I think I'm going to have to use wordplays.com. I hate to do that on the weekend. Well, I'm not doing this on the weekend, but for the weekend crosswords. But let's see what wordplays.com has. Ah, of course, you don't read them, you listen to them, and it was K for king, not R. And the answer is audiobooks. Oh, that's clever. Ooh, we do now get a nice K. I wonder if it could be speckle would be a blotch. Oops, let's type that correctly. So the deer eating mushroom recoiled. I do not understand that. Again, so I'm not sure this is right, but deer eating mushroom. Oh, is there an? Well, there's Ernie L's, but is there an ELS? But I can just think eating. If you eat, you might peck at your food. Deer eating mushroom recoiled. Oh, elk, of course. My goodness, is elk. And I think we've seen this word before. Let me pause and double check it. Yes, it's a type of mushroom, Boletus edulis, known as sep, penny bun, or porcino. So I need to try and remember. I'm sure I've had it before and I just didn't remember it until it came to me there, thank goodness. All right. So, record, changing dash for cash. Yeah, is it something to do with, I don't know, setting a record by running and you get cash for it? I don't know. Is it Johnny Cash? Well, changing D for C, maybe? Yeah, but I'm not very sure of constraints either. University becoming independent. If I'm right about trains being raises, then university becoming independent would be cons. That doesn't seem right. All right, I do need to move along here, so I'm gonna leave one where I'm fairly sure I'm wrong. And well, actually, let me use word plays and find a four-letter word with the eyes. Fifi is coming to mind. Well, high five, it really doesn't mean record, but record player maybe, but not high five. Anyway, we don't have the check button on the Everyman, but we'll find out next week if it's right or wrong. If you spot the errors, then please feel free to correct me in the comments. Anyway, I did enjoy it until those last few, but that's the way it is with these crosswords. Anyway, thank you as always for watching and have a wonderful day.